Hey everybody, and welcome on into episode 2 of building an Imperial Outpost on Kashyyyk. Now in this episode guys, we get a ton of awesome progress done on the mock, so do make sure to stay tuned throughout the entire video to see what we get done. Of course, if you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing and leaving a like if you enjoy the video. Also drop a comment down below giving your thoughts on the episode and any suggestions you might have for the mock. So without further ado, let's get building. Okay guys, so before we get into the building of this episode, I quickly just want to go over some of the stuff that we left up on last week, and to start off, that is the actual overall size of the mock. So you can see here we have one 48x48 grey base plate. Now, there was an option for me to add on an extra 32x32 and 16x32 base plate onto this bit, sort of make it 1 3/4 long or 1 2/3 long, and a lot of you guys did say to add on that extra bit just to add in more detail and more stuff to the mock. However, I have come to a decision to expand it definitely, because I agree it'd be good to add in more detail, you know, make it larger, just basically add in more stuff, which would make it a lot more exciting and interesting. However, instead of adding in the 32x32 and 16x32, I'm instead just going to add on an entire another 48x48 grey base plate to make it 2 grey base plates long, just because really there's not much of a difference between the 32x32 and the 48x48, and I also think it would just be nice to have the extra bit of room to maybe expand the base bit, which is something I definitely want to do, because this here, although it's a nice size, would definitely be nice to have it a little bit bigger, and also gives me more room to like make more trees and riverbed, like, or bigger riverbed and stuff like that. So I'm definitely gonna add on another base plate here, and that's something we'll get into not in this episode. I won't add in the extra base plate this episode. We'll get into that probably the next episode and like start adding in all filler brick and stuff like that, like we did in the last episode with this one. So that's that. And there was also the option of having either the Inquisitor or the Moff Gideon as the main Imperial leader of this outpost, and pretty much every single one of you guys said that it'd be better to have the Inquisitor. And Nico Brix made a very good point that at this point in the storyline, or at this point in Star Wars, you know, Moff Gideon isn't actually a Moff yet, so it wouldn't really make sense at all anyway. So I'm definitely just going to go with the Inquisitor instead. Again, he's probably my favourite character out of the two as well, like in terms of the minifigure quality, because he's a lot more low-key in Star Wars, and the minifigure quality of that figure is absolutely brilliant. So I'm definitely going to be having the Inquisitor as the main Imperial leader on this outpost. So that's the stuff that we left off on last week. Now in this week, I really want to start work on the base. Now I'm going to start off by sort of expanding this. I need to change this one out to make it a light grey tile or light grey plate, and I'm also just going to expand it out a bit to make it probably go out to about here with this, and then just make it like I guess another about 16 studs longer on each bit. So I'm definitely get to that in this episode in just a minute. So we're going to do that, and then we'll start up building up the walls and just give you an idea of what the base will look like. So we'll definitely get into some of the base stuff this week. I also want to try and maybe get some more foliage, just give you more an idea of like maybe like a riverbed or a raised bit up. We'll see what happens there, but I'm definitely trying to get some more foliage and a lot on the base as well this week, just to give you guys a really nice look at what the mock will be looking like, at least on this side of it. So let's get into that and get building, or get, I guess, expanding with the base right now. Okay, so I said that I was going to expand the base by a fair bit, but I actually realised as I was like sort of taking out the plates and stuff, that it's actually fairly big as it is, because it's not like a full base or anything, it's just an outpost. And for the outpost, the idea I have in my mind is that there'll be certain sections in it, and I'll explain all of that when we get into the actual building of that, but what I have in my mind, this does really work for it. Now I did expand this area here because I'm planning on having some sort of thing coming out, and possibly that could be like a transport, maybe the Imperial Marauder, but like modified, that came out this year, like modify that a bit and stuff. So we'll see what happens there, but I have expanded this by about 6 studs, so it's now a lot wider, which is definitely good, because I can now fit something a lot bigger going out of here, so that's definitely a big plus. But to be honest, I'm happy with the size of this for the outpost itself, because to be honest, in terms of like the actual size of the mock, it's still like, I'd say a good 1/6 of it. So, and to be honest, that's kind of what I had envisioned as well before I started this mock, like a 1/6 of it would be around the outpost, and then the rest of it would be like some really dense foliage and some nice trees and like just really nice Kashyyyk vibe to it. So I'm happy with actually the size of this. I'm not going to change it from here, so this is going to be the size of the outpost. Actually, I say I'm not going to change it. There's a possibility I might, when I actually properly get into the building, that I see like there's something I want to expand maybe a bit. So I might change it, but I think it's going to be like this. So that's what we got so far with that. Now, I haven't done anything with this, obviously, yet. However, I'm going to move on to this for now, start building up some walls, and I really just want to, like, sort of show you this area here, because I have plans to make, like, a nice corridor going along here, so I'm going to try and get pretty much that exact corridor built, and just sort of show you guys what I'm going on about in terms of the detailing within the base, just to give you an idea of that. And then after that, we'll move on to the foliage, and maybe add, like, a little raised platform, like a raised hill or something in this corner, take all this off, and just add in a hill, just to sort of show you what I mean in terms of like the different variations in height and stuff. But first, let's get into building this area of the base. Okay then guys, so as you can see now, I have built this section here of the corridor, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I built the majority of it on camera in the time lapse. However, the top bit here with like the roof and stuff like that, I did off camera just because, you know, I just wanted a little bit off camera. But yeah, most of this was done on camera as you saw in the time lapse, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So you can see it has those nice wall lights there, which are really cool. I love the way they turned out. They're like that iconic Imperial wall light or walling type thing. I'm not too sure what these meant to be. I think they're meant to be lights, but yeah, I managed to fit them in, which looks absolutely great. I'm really happy with how they turned out. You can see it's symmetrical on both sides pretty much. That gives it a nice uniformed Imperial look, and overall I'm just so happy with how this turned out. Of course, we have now the roof on top, so there will be 2 floors to the outpost. There'll be the bottom bit and there'll be another bit on top, so that's what we've got going on here. Now this will lead into the hangar bay, which will be here. It's not going to be a huge hangar bay, it's really going to be like an exit or an entrance to it, so it won't be huge, but there'll definitely be some nice stuff going on in here. And in this section back here, which you can sort of see now, I'm debating whether to make it like a little speeder docking area, like some speeders lining up in here, or maybe like a mess hall or something. I'm still deciding, so let me know in the comment section below what you think I should do with this area behind the corridor here. So that will be very interesting to see what we do. Now you can also see that I have started to sort of try and do a little border around the edge, and I've run into 2 problems when doing this. The first one being, I've realised I have very few of these black tiles, and I'm going to need an absolute ton of them to surround 2 base plates. So that's a big problem. I'm going to look onto Bricklink to see how much it costs to buy a load of them. I realise that they're super expensive. I'm not sure why they're so expensive, but they're really expensive. So I have come up with a sort of solution, which I want you guys to sort of leave your opinions on, because I'm personally not too willing to spend a ridiculous amount of money on just a few tiles, which I'll probably not use much after this mock. So I'm probably instead going to save that money to buy other things like stormtroopers and stuff like that, which are actually more important for the mock anyway. And instead, I'm actually going to try out maybe using some dark bluish grey tiles around the edge. So I'll give that a try in just a bit in this episode to give you guys a look at what it would look like, because I've never seen anybody use anything other than black tiles really to like give a border around a mock. So the dark bluish grey tiles, which have an absolute ton of, these I'll like put some plates behind and then put the tiles over the top. So I think it would actually turn out looking quite nice in my opinion. So I'll give that a try, see what I think, and then when you guys have seen that, then you let me know in the comment section below what you think of that as well. But yeah, that's what I've got going on so far in this area of the mock. I am now going to, before like putting all the tiles down around the edge and stuff, I want to work on a raised bit just around here. Now I'm going to take all of this bit here out because that's just like a prototype thing. So I'm going to take all of this out and start building like a raised bit just around here, just to give like a bit of variety in the terrain of the mock, just to start off with. So let's get into doing that right now. Okay everyone, so I have now built up this raised platform here. Now at the back you can see I've integrated a few of these dark bluish grey tiles just to add some like little rock detailing, like you see some like stones in the mud and stuff, so that's what we've got going on there. I'm quite happy with the way that turned out. Now I'll flip this around in a second so you can have a front view of it, but I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. Now I'm probably going to have to replace these green bits at the bottom here with some brown bits, but I'll do that at a later date and probably off camera as well, because that'd be quite like a annoying job to do, so I'll do that off camera. But I'm really happy with how this turned out, especially at the back here. That looks quite nice. And at the front as well, I'm really happy with how it looks. It does look really quite good, especially like this. You have like all the different like levels of it and like all the different like ins and outs, and I don't know how to describe that, but I think it looks really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out, so make sure to let me know what you think of that down in the comments, and I'll be adding another one or two of those, probably a little bit smaller than this one. This one's like a bigger one. There'll be another two smaller ones, probably like the other half of the mock as well, so that is great. Now on top I'm going to add some more texturing and stuff like that, and maybe some plants on top as well, just to add a bit more texture and stuff to the top, because right now it's very bland and flat, so I'm going to add a little bit of like a, I guess, differentiating height. I don't know what to call it. I'm going to change the height of this, make it all bumpy and stuff. I'm going to do that, add some more plants and stuff on top of that, and, well, let's get to it. Okay guys, so I've now done a little prototype section of the dark bluish grey border here, and although it's not like a normal black border and stuff like that, I do think it still looks quite nice, and I'm very happy with the outcome of it. Now obviously a black one would be nice because that's like the same as quite often pretty much all the other mocks you have black ones, but in this mock obviously we've not got a black one, we've got a dark bluish grey one, and I do think it looks quite good, especially considering the price of the black tiles. That would cost so much, and I'd rather spend that money on like other things like stormtroopers and other things for the actual mock itself rather than just the border. So for this I'm quite happy because it's a lot more affordable and also does look quite nice. It's a bit of a change from what you normally see, so I'm happy with that, and make sure to let me know what you think of this dark bluish grey border down in the comments. Now you also saw on the time lapse that I've done this section here and added some texturing on top, so I've added a few different colours of brown just to give the texture a bit of a differentiating colour, I guess. I don't know how to really say that, but obviously you've got the different textures there with the brown and stuff, which is nice. We've also got some little plant patches on top as well, which does give the colour a nice change of variety in the colour on top, which is absolutely great, and I'm very happy with how this sort of raised platform here has turned out. Well, not raised platform, but raised area has turned out. I'll be adding a few more of these within the mock on the other base plate, but for this base plate, this is quite nice, and I'm happy with how it looks. So that's great, and make sure to let me know what you think of this as well down in the comments. Now, that's going to be pretty much all the building for this episode. In the next episode, I'm hoping to get a lot of foliage done around this area especially, and also work on the base a lot more, building up all the walls. I want to build up all the walls around here and work on the door here as well for the next episode. So make sure to let me know what you thought of all the stuff we've got done in this episode, and let's get to the outro. So yeah guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for episode 2 of building an Imperial Outpost on Kashyyyk. So of course, if you did enjoy the episode, please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Again, any comments you might have on the mock, like suggestions or tips, do make sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you on that. So guys, without further ado, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.